always so like depending to hang out with friends or be with their boyfriends, and I feel like we just needed this time to really learn how to be alone. Okay, so here's the last one. Who was the last person you kissed in 2020?
Hey, yeah, I know they always talk about us. Haters out here really doing too much, talk too much.
Hi guys, it's Danielle here, back with another video. Anyways, today I'm doing another TMI video. So you guys seem to really like the TMI videos, and you guys really seem to like when I do like a new thing with them. So I'm going to be doing a TMI about 2020. So you guys asked me some questions about 2020 and I'm just going to be answering them. And a lot of people asking what TMI means. So TMI means too much information, if you didn't know. I thought everyone knew that, but I guess some people don't. So basically it's just questions that I would most likely to avoid, but I'm going to answer them for you guys because you guys like it. But yeah, so I leave for the airport in like 20 minutes. I have to go to Florida because it's my mom's friend's wedding, so we gotta go to it. It's a very small wedding, you know, for like COVID and everything. Everyone has to wear a mask, you know. But anyways, I'm gonna answer these questions really quick for you guys. So let's get into it. Alright, so first things first. This one wasn't really something that was like a crazy drama question or anything, but I wanted to answer this because I felt like this whole year we have been in quarantine, so I felt like this was kind of like a good thing to answer. Hardest thing about quarantine. I love you so much, Danny. I love you too. I think the hardest thing about quarantine, I feel like the hardest thing was probably just the fact that the only really people you got to see were like the people that lived in your house, because you really weren't like, you know, so supposed to be hanging out with friends or inviting people to your house or going to their house. So it was just like super just like sad, you know, because you couldn't really see any of your friends, you couldn't hang out with anyone. So I feel like that was just the hardest thing to deal with, was just not being able to really see friends. I feel like that was just like a really big change than what I'm used to, even though I don't really have a lot of friends, but you know, the couple that I have, I see them quite often, and so it was really weird not seeing them, you know what I mean? The next one is, who stayed by your side the whole 2020? I would say there's a couple people. And this is not like rude to any of my other friends or anything, but it was just like a lot of the friends that I'm with now, like Desi and Jazzy. Me and Jazzy obviously, like, you know, we kind of had like a falling out with our friendship. We're friends now, we're good, we're still best friends, we're still sisters, but we did have a falling out, so the whole 2020 we really weren't by each other's side. So even though I would love to say her, it's not the truth. And me and Desi started getting close like in the middle of 2020, I would say, when we went on tour together. But yeah, so I think the main people who stayed by my side in 2020, there's 3 people. Of course, Mikey. Mikey was by my side the whole time, even though when we weren't together, you know, he was still there for me and all that. So definitely him. Definitely Jackie. We literally quarantined together. She literally stayed at my house the whole quarantine. So that was kind of nice though, that I did have a friend. So definitely Jackie, and definitely Talene. Me and Talene have always been really close friends, and especially during 2020, she has really been a friend that's been there for me this whole year. So definitely those 3. So yeah. The next one is, which was your best memory with girls in 2020? I would probably say the best memory was literally right in the beginning of 2020, which was my birthday in March. This was literally right before like COVID was kind of, you know, found, but it wasn't even in the US yet. Like, it was not really, nobody really knew about it, nobody knew what was going on. Like, you didn't even have to wear masks, you didn't even like have to worry about any of that. And we had went to Hawaii for my birthday, and it was like a girls trip. We actually invited Alvaro and Rashawn too, but it was just so fun because I never really had gone on like a girls trip before, and if I did, it was for like this brand deal with Doe, and I didn't really know all the girls, so it was kind of weird for me. But this one was with literally girls that I knew really well and that I was super close with, and so it was just a really fun time, I feel like, for me. I really liked it. It was super fun. It was probably my best memory with girls in 2020. And also just the fact that it was right before COVID. So it was literally like the last really fun vacation I've had. And even though, I mean, I've gone places during COVID, but it's still like not as fun because you have to worry about so many extra things, like making sure you're safe, making sure you're not like, you know, around too many people, or you're wearing a mask, or you're like constantly washing your hands. Like, there's just a lot to, you know, like remember during this time. So what was the worst bit of 2020? What was it? I feel like I would say I think, what month was it when I made the video? Wait, I would say the worst month was January for me. But I think, to be honest, it wasn't January, because in reality, like, yeah, that was probably the hardest, but I think the most hard month and like just the worst month for me was when I legit had to relive it and tell all my followers about it. So yeah, I would definitely say then for sure, because there was a lot of good things that happened too during those months, but I feel like the fact that I legit had to relive what happened and tell everyone about it was just super, super hard, and probably the worst thing that I had to do in 2020 besides the actual thing that happened. But reliving it was just like, it was like a different kind of hurt, you know what I mean? What's something you learned in TVD and I love you again? So actually, I didn't start watching Vampire Diaries this year, so I had actually watched it before, but during quarantine I was kind of like, you know what, like, I'm gonna keep watching it again, and I started watching it again, and that's when I like kind of really started seeing like the meanings behind all the things in it, and I think that's what literally made me fall in love with it. I mean, I'd watched it like 2 times before, like, but now I've watched it like 8 times. So yeah, but I think it really made me fall in love because I was just so like paying attention to it, because I was just at home, I had nothing to do. So I feel like I just really got to like see everything and just really just like pay attention to it. But I think the most, like, the thing that it taught me the most was that quote from Klaus. I'm actually gonna get it tattooed on me because I love it so much. But the one where he goes, don't underestimate the allure of darkness, even the purest hearts are drawn to it. I feel like that has such a strong meaning behind it, because literally you might think that someone is like the sweetest person, and they might even be the sweetest person, but like at the end of the day, like their heart is drawn to like just doing evil stuff and being evil, and they're just like deep down, like they're just not a good person, and they can look like they're such a good person, but deep down they're not. So it's just like this such a strong quote about how like even the purest hearts, like even the purest and sweetest people, like they're drawn to evil, like they can be so evil. So there's just such a strong meaning behind it, and I feel like that really taught me so much, because I really like went through that this year a lot with just fake people, and that like really taught me. I was like, wow, like that's so true. So probably that, yeah. Would January 2020 Danny be proud to see January 2021 Danny? I think, yeah, I would be so proud. I feel like just if I knew what was gonna happen in my life, it'd be, wait, okay. How do I word this? I think now that everyone knows about it and I had to come forward about it, I think like literally like the person at that in 2020, January 2020, like would have never been able to tell anyone about it, and was so secretive about it and just so hurt about it. And now like I'm sitting here having open conversations about it and being able to, you know, just like laugh it off and, you know, like take the positive out of the situation. And even though still it's such a hard situation for me to talk about, like I've actually came to the part where I don't have to cry while thinking about it, or just, you know, beat myself up for it. Like I've came to the part where I'm like, it's okay that that happened, and I need to move forward with my life, and I can't keep, you know, pushing myself back because of that. And so I feel like 2020 me would have just been like, wow, like I could never do that. And so the fact that I've came this far, I think that I would be so proud of myself if I knew. So yeah, a little moment, you know. next one is, how many guys did you date? So actually, me and my first boyfriend, I think we did it for a couple days, and then we broke up literally right in the beginning of 2020, like January something, I don't even remember. And then I started dating Mikey, so I've only really dated 2 guys in 2020, but the first one was kind of like more in 2019, but it just like we broke up right in the beginning of 2020. So I would definitely say 2, but mostly 1 for the whole 2020. The next one, what was your least favorite month out of the year? I hope all this year treats you well. I love you. January. January was so painful, the worst pains ever, just the most depressed ever, like just a terrible month for me. And even though the month where I had to like, you know, like do all that, that was probably like one of the worst months, but this was definitely my least favorite month. What was your favorite part of 2020? I know that I like complain about this all the time, but I feel like the world really needed 2020. I feel like being alone and just like being in your house constantly and stuff, like it made you learn so much about yourself and just like really learn how to be alone and not always be around people. And I feel like a lot of teenagers, especially my age, like needed that because we're always so like depending to hang out with friends or be with their boyfriends, and I feel like we just needed this time to really learn how to be alone and, you know, just to like see how it is to not always be around other people and just really have to make ourselves happy, like ourselves, like just alone. And I feel like I learned how to do that in quarantine, and I feel like a lot of other people did too. And so I think that's so important, and I feel like in a way, like that was my favorite part of 2020, was just learning how to be happy with myself and not need anyone else. And even though like it's great to have other people in your life, but if you can't love being by yourself and love not, like, do you get what I'm saying? Like, be able to just be happy alone and not have to depend on someone. And if you're not yet, that's fine. Just, you know, like work on it and you'll get through it. Like, you just gotta find out what makes you happy, you know? Okay, so here's the last one. Who was the last person you kissed in 2020? And I love you. I love you too. The last person I kissed was Mikey. If you guys didn't know. Yeah, he was the last person I kissed. Anyways, that's all the questions. This is not going up in 2020. It is January 1st right now, 2021. So happy New Year, everyone. I know this isn't going up on the New Year, but on the New Year's Day, but happy New Year. I hope you guys all have such an amazing New Year. Here's a quote that I keep seeing everywhere, and it's really sticking to me. Last year, you were strong. This year, be happy. And that quote is very, very good, and you should use it for 2021. Yeah. But anyways, love you guys. Bye. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, tap the bell, all the fun stuff. And I'll see you guys next time. And follow me on Instagram at Danielle Cohn, TikTok Danielle Cohn, all that stuff.